Long before they hit it big with the Driver series, Reflection Interactive made a name for themselves with the cult hit Shadow of the Beast. This was a fast-paced adventure filled with colorful graphics and massive boss fights. It was also punishingly difficult. I remember giving up on the Lynx version back when I was a kid, and for decades I've considered this game to be borderline impossible. But seeing as this year marks its 30th birthday, I wanted to challenge myself to finally see how this game ends. So turn back now if you don't want to know what happens next, because today we're going to spoil the story and ending for Shadow of the Beast on a whole bunch of systems. This is Game Over, the early years. Our story begins with a kidnapping. It was a long time ago on a moonless night when a mysterious figure abducted a small child named Arboron from his unsuspecting parents. This child was taken far away to the mighty temple Necropolis, where he was accepted by the mages of darkness, warrior priests, and the Beast Lord himself. They fed the boy a secret potion concocted from the blood of rare monsters, turning him from a human into a strange beast with incredible powers. Their plan was to wipe the boy's memory and turn him into the ultimate service to the Beast Lord named Malatoth. But things didn't go as planned. After many years of being the warrior messenger, Arboron wakes up to the truth after witnessing his father's execution. This takes him down the path of uncovering the horrible truths about his past, leading him on a trail of total and bloody revenge against his evil masters. This is how the instruction manual explains the story of Shadow of the Beast, but the TurboGrafx version has a slightly different setup. Instead of me trying to explain it, here's the cinema they show. Now, there isn't a whole lot of story after the initial setup, so this recap won't take that long. Shadow of the Beast is a pretty straightforward exercise where we run around a stage and punch everything that gets in the way. This starts out in the middle of a large field, but quickly goes underground for much of the game. We climb ladders as we explore the underground system, punch statues to destroy their orbs, and then fight off this red sandworm creature thing. This leads to a way out, but we're not out of the woods yet. Actually, we're smack dab in the middle of the woods, which means it's time to run around and avoid those decomposing hands. Ugh. The path eventually takes us to the castle's front door, where we're invited in by this guy. This is a frustrating fight, where barrels are coming at you from all sides and the guards won't give you a moment to breathe. The plan is to grab the gun and then dismantle the security system, which then gives our hero a clear path to this three-headed dragon. After we defeat the boss, Arboron finds a jetpack and it suddenly becomes a terrible side-scrolling shoot-'em-up. This brief diversion leads us back outside, where the sun is beginning to set and Malatoth's minions are getting impatient. This is the point where we finally come up against the final boss, a giant so massive that we can only see his foot. We let that foot have it, and if you're playing the Amiga version of the game, this is what happens next. Yeah, it's a silent congratulations screen. And that's the same thing we got from the Commodore 64 version, too. Now, the Lynx version also had a congratulations screen, but at least it had a couple more paragraphs, and we saw our hero running in the background. The Master System version, on the other hand, also shows the beast running, but this time gives us the satisfaction of seeing him transform into a regular human. Oh, and let's not forget about the unreleased Super NES port, which has the castle crashing in the distance before congratulating the player. Thankfully, there is a version of Shadow of the Beast with a somewhat satisfying ending. I'm talking about the TurboGrafx-CD version, which gives us exactly what we want. So, after we've beaten up that giant foot, this is what happens next. When it comes right down to it, I get why people have fond memories of Shadow of the Beast. There's a compelling story with a sympathetic hero, big boss fights, and a whole lot of world building. It's a shame that all these good things didn't translate into a better ending. As far as I'm concerned, the pieces are all there. What they needed to do was just combine all of these endings into one truly satisfying conclusion. Picture this, we see the beast running away. Then cut to the castle crashing to the ground, followed by our hero transforming back into a human. I don't know, if you really wanted to, just toss in that congratulations screen at the end. Now that's an ending I want to see. Hey, thanks for watching this episode of Game Over, the early years. If you liked what you saw here, then you should know that we post new episodes every Monday. Now here's the question I have for you. What is the hardest game you've ever completed? And how satisfying was it to finally beat it? Well, I may say your picks in the comments below. In other news, we have an absolutely packed week in store for you, including reviews of Furwind, Rolling Gunner, Crossroads Extreme, and Sticks and Bones, as well as the second part of our US versus Japan Genesis cover debate. Big stuff in store, so I strongly recommend you click that subscribe button and support what we're doing here. Till then.